Okay, well, I just finished my job that I was doing today. A very nice man that I work for. We did a lot of gardening together and stuff, and we had a very productive day. And I made a little money, and made his life easier, and made a little money in the process. So everything's good. Anyway, this road. I'm going to tell you a story about this road. This road is called the Bay Road, Bay, the Bay Road. And when I was a little boy, and my dad, towards the end of the life of my dad's car, my dad had a 1962 Pontiac Parisienne, and he had been pulled into a safety lane by the Ontario Provincial Police in order to take the car home and park it because the frame behind the rear wheels was busted. Anyway, he drove the car for a year after that, and then he bought a 1969 Dodge, and then he had both cars for a while. And then he eventually got rid of the 62 Pontiac, and he also got rid of the 69 Dodge, and he bought a 69 Ford LTD. So he went from a 69 Dodge Monaco and a 62 Pontiac Parisienne to a 69 Ford LTD. Anyway, that's just a little car history for you. Anyway, but my dad started driving the back roads with the Pontiac then because, of course, he was avoiding the OPP. And we used to go to Smiths Falls on this road. And back then, this road was unpaved, and it was a single-lane road, and the trees grew right up to the edge of the road, and the tree limbs were over the road. We used to have the tree limbs scraping against the roof of the car as we went along here. I remember that when I was just a little boy, 4 or 5 years old. It's a lot better a road now. It was just a pretty rough road. It was basically a goat trail back then. But anyway, this is the Bay Road. It's a road that I remember traveling with my dad in his old Pontiac car and listening to the radio, the old AM radio, and all that, listening to the old Motown era and rhythm and blues type music that they used to play on the radio in those days. Anyway, it's quite a pretty drive. I'm not going to be on here very long driving because it is kind of a highway now, although it's kind of a back road highway. It is still a highway, and there is some danger in doing this, so I'm not going to do it for long. But just wanted to share it with you as best I can anyway. And just because it's kind of a special memory I have of my childhood, this road, the Bay Road, riding along with my dad in the old 62 Pontiac, trying to avoid the police, who had ordered the car off the road. Anyway, it's windy and so narrow as this road is now. It was a lot more so back then. It was literally just one lane unpaved with trees going right to the edge of the road. And like I say, I remember hearing the tree limbs scraping against the roof of the car when we come along here. And of course, my dad wasn't one to slow down very much, so he used to come through here really fast, even with it being the kind of road it is. Anyway, like I say, just kind of a memory I have is all. I'll tell you a funny story, actually, about this road. In the old days, it wasn't uncommon for a dump to just appear on the side of the road. People would just start dumping stuff, And near to the end of this road, there was a dump. And there was anyway, it went way back into the woods, and stuff. And people would drive along here. And they'd just stop and dump their garbage. Anyway, there was a toy boat in there. I remember I could see it through the car window. Every time we went through there was this toy boat. And I decided I wanted that toy boat. And I used to be constantly bugging my dad to stop so I could get the toy boat out of the dump. That's this impromptu, unofficial dump that had appeared there. Most of these houses weren't here back then. There was hardly anything on this road at that time. Anyway, there's a field of horses. They're pretty to look at. But anyway, So there was this dump. It was on that side of the road, near to the end of it, near to the Rideau Ferry Road. Anyway, my dad, he got sick of me going on about this boat anyway, wanting this boat every time we stopped. And he didn't want to take the boat because he said it's in a dump, it's dirty, and all the rest of it. God only knows, what kind of filth, we'd be getting into. So he didn't want any part of it. But one day we're going along, and again, I started bugging him about the boat. And my dad says, God damn it anyway, because my dad could be pretty gruff and grumpy at times, and he had a bit of a foul mouth too. He used to swear like a mule driver, as we used to say back then. My dad said, God damn it anyway, would you shut up about that fucking boat? He said, I'll make a deal with you. He said, I'll make a deal with you. He said, you shut up about that boat. Don't say another word about that boat. And he said, if you can do that for a solid month, then I will go to the store and I will buy you a boat. So I said, that's a deal, So I never said another word about the boat. We'd go past it. I wouldn't say anything. And about 6 weeks later, my dad came home from work one night and he had a really nice plastic toy boat for me. And he handed me the boat. He said, here you go. He said, you kept up your end of the bargain and I'm keeping up mine. And he gave me the toy boat. I remember that, Anyway, I'm going to get off here now. I hope you're all doing well today. And, yeah, I will see you later. The troll truck's running really good. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I might jinx it. But it is running really good anyway. Okay, bye for now.